Hey guys, what's up? It's Monty SR. Welcome to my Wario's Woods speedrunning tutorial. In today's tutorial, I'm going to walk through the beginning of the Versus Com speedrun, which is Mssr Boo. This speedrun's meant for players who have a little bit of experience or a lot of experience with Wario's Woods. If you're just now learning how to play Wario's Woods or interested in learning the speedrun, I definitely suggest just keep playing, keep learning the patterns, and then refer to this video. So in this tutorial, I'm going to show you all 16 patterns and how I like to optimize them. Although it's not the only way you can optimize these patterns, I'm going to show you what has worked the best for me. But before I start, I'm going to go into the options panel and just kind of talk about the control schemes. So I play with Type B controls. Anyone who was at AGDQ 2018 and picked up my controller after the Woods tournament matches probably got very frustrated because I do B-type controls. The game defaults to A-type. There really isn't a huge advantage of one control scheme over the other. Just choose the one you're more comfortable with. So I'm going to go ahead and jump right into the tutorial. How I've designed it is I start with the most important patterns first. So I'm going to kind of work down like a list of importance, starting with the fastest patterns and the most crucial to learn and to perfect if you want consistent quick kills in the beginning of the speedrun. There's a lot of time to save for a lot of runners in this first part. So let's jump right in. This is one of my favorite patterns, but also one of the most important to learn. You're going to want to get down there and create that pink breakfast looking thing. You're going to use the yellow 6. If you do it right, the pink will fall and create a breakfast chain. And then from there, you're just going to clean up the rest of the stage. How players do like things after the beginning setup is kind of up to them. So I'll show it one more time. You're going to pick up the yellow stack, pick up the pink stack, and then drop the white monster down into the pit. That's about it. Kind of messed up there when trying to pick up the red. It's a really fast pattern, and it has pretty high reliability. You can do it again and again and get like set 25 times. There is an alternative way to do this if like you don't want to wait for the pink bomb like that, or the pink bomb doesn't fall. You can always use the yellow bomb instead and then wait for the pink to fall, or just forget the pink. There are only 4 colors on this board. You really can't go wrong as long as you start with that yellow. So that is it for the first stage. One of the most important stages in this part of the speedrun. Definitely recommend practicing. So the next stage is equally as important for beginning runners. It's really easy to do. It's really hard to like optimize consistently. So what I did there was I put the blue up so I would make a breakfast, and then I picked up the pink. And then you just clean up the rest of the stage like you normally would. I'll show it again one more time. Except this time I'm going to pick up the white monsters. Sometimes pink or blue won't fall first, and red or white will. And so you can kind of pick up those white bombs using the button on your SNES controller that picks up one monster. You can do that really, really quickly. So I'll just clean up the rest of this stage really fast. This is like a brief note. I'm always prioritizing making 5 combos and clearing colors completely. Once you clear a color, it's completely gone from the board. And while that does change the bomb RNG a little bit, it just increases the likelihood that you're going to get your bomb. This is an important pattern. Let's talk about this. You're going to be making a green diagonal going up towards the left from the bottom right. Starting on the left side of the screen, I'm going to show you the how to do this when you get green bomb early. When the green bomb falls like the first or second time, oh, okay, hold on. I can get this. There we go. I normally don't have that much trouble, but when that green bomb falls the first or second bomb, that's what you want to do. You want to quickly build kind of like a staircase, and then you just want to clear out the rest of the stage. Another way to do this is if you don't get green early, there's a way to get the science going. So you still want to make your green staircase, kind of mimic my movement there. it's pretty consistent movement. The green's going to take its time getting there, but say you have 2 cyans. You can do that cyan 5. You may get a chain like I did just now, and it'll mess up your green diagonal. If that happens, just kind of deal with it. It's a risk, but the payoff is you could get kind of a free 5 combo, and then get immediately another free 6 combo. So I'll show that one more time. I'm gonna make your green staircase. That staircase is like the most important thing about that pattern. The cyan bomb sometimes spawns in weird places. Just kind of get used to it. Oh, this time I got the green gem. That's annoying because now I have that green bomb left over. Remember, I always like to try to prioritize clearing entire colors, but it's not a huge deal because look how close Boo is to dying. So I just kind of wait for the white bomb. See, I got 3 green bombs after the fact. All right, I'll show it on the left one more time. Just that fast green pattern. This is probably the most optimal, is when that green bomb is already there waiting for you. It gets rid of a color, and it's just fast. Drops a 6 combo. All kinds of good things happen with that pattern. If there's any part of my movement tech that anyone's interested in knowing more about, I can make a separate video talking about just my movement tech, but that can be discussed in a later video. So that is the 3rd pattern I'm going to show today. Very important for new runners to learn. This next pattern I'm going to show on the right is a really fun pattern when that red bomb falls in the pocket just like that. You just clean up the stage like normal. Again, trying to balance prioritizing clearing entire colors and making 5 combos. So I'll show it one more time. You're going to throw down that red, clear the color, and get a 5. Show it another time. If the red bomb doesn't fall there, it's not a huge deal. However, you definitely want to get there quickly, as I'll show you in a second what can happen when it goes wrong and you don't get there quickly. Although in my defense, I don't think there's anything I could have done differently for this next example. So on the right side, I have the same setup, and I'm going to get the red bomb, and then I get another red bomb. So if you don't get to the red bomb quick enough, you could get stuck with a red gem, which is essentially useless. So just be aware of that. Sometimes that pattern can do that. I couldn't get it to show up in this RNG, but there is a seed that will drop cyan bombs right before the red bomb. It'll drop 2 cyan bombs, and you can easily make a cyan diagonal. If anyone's curious, I can try to get a recording of that to show off, because I know some people will probably prefer to use those cyans if they fall. Alright, this next pattern is the one that precedes the first pattern I showed here in this tutorial. Very important to learn. On the right, I'm going to show you the pink stack method. So there are 5 pink monsters. I am trying to clear all of those. Then I'm going to try to get that yellow breakfast off. And then I clear the rest of it as usual. So I started off with the pink stack, and then I immediately transitioned into the yellow breakfast. The yellow breakfast isn't a huge priority. If I can get it, great. If not, it's not a huge deal, because oftentimes you'll get a gem. Sometimes that pink's not going to fall first. Oh, I'm kind of screwed that up. Let me try it again. So I'm going to go for a green diagonal here. You can substitute green for red or for yellow even. Just whatever diagonal is present. And then I clear the rest of the stage as normal. Ooh, I could have got another 5 combo. Really fast clears there. Alright, I'm going to show the right side one more time. Optimally, you'll get the white bomb in a different location, and you can sometimes stack up the white monsters. But for the most part... Oh, I didn't get my yellow bomb. That's strange. Totally fine, though. See, now I have it. And I've cleared a color, which is awesome. And I've got a pretty fast clear on this. Nice. Alright. I'll show you one more time on this screen, the green diagonal strat. So the name of the game is just getting the fastest 5 combo as possible. So while I'm finishing this up, I'll kind of do a brief overview about bomb RNG. So the patterns are consistent as far as how they're laid out, but what changes is the order in which the bombs drop. We can manipulate the order that the bombs drop in, but we can only manipulate it by changing it. We can't like pick. So we can we can technically pick, but we can't say, oh, I want, you know, yellow, cyan, green, red to fall. You can't like do that specifically. Oh, I got monster mode. Gross. So with that said, with the different bomb patterns, there are sometimes different approaches to optimizing the patterns. Next is a really fun pattern. I'm going to show you 2 wildly different setups. So the first one's the red diagonal. See how I dig down and I build a diagonal 6. You can do a 5 if that's quicker for you, but try to get in the habit of doing the 6. And then I clear the stage as normal, knocking down everything and making 5s. Now on the left side, I'm going to show you the yellow strat, which is far more common than the red strat. The yellow strat, you want to get in the habit of making a yellow column. Now this game is... Oh, I got a chain. This game is quite trolly with its, let's say, gem color. And it's also trolly with giving like duplicate bomb colors when you really don't need them. So sometimes you'll get 2 yellows on this pattern. And so just be wary of that if you're trying to go after all the colors at one time. I'll show you again the red diagonal setup. It's going straight up the side. So I got lucky in this seed, and I got the red diagonal the red bomb pretty early. That isn't always the case. Sometimes that bomb's going to show up 2nd or 3rd. Regardless, it's not a huge time sink to wait for it if you know it's going to come up. This is where you kind of have to know your bomb seed. So I'll show the one on the left one more time, the yellow stripe, the slightly different setup. Set it up so the bomb falls directly on the stack of monsters. Oh. And there we have it. Easy clears. If I was timing this would probably be like between a 30 and 35 second stage. Really easy to learn, really easy to pull off. So for the next few patterns, I'm going to show you all the kind of one-offs. I'm going to show you the best approach to each of these patterns as I see it. So starting with the right, this is called the yellow tower strat. There are a couple other variations, and I encourage you to use those if you're confident and they're just as fast as what I'm showing here. But for the most part, this is what works for me. I always go after that yellow tower. I'll show it one more time. I'm going to dig down, drop straight down, and just start picking yellows off. If you get in the middle of those columns, you can do that quite easily. Depending on the gem, I like to sometimes try to get a 5 combo with those white gems. I got a little unlucky with my bomb at the start, which is fine, so I can just clean up anyways with the rest of what's on my board. You'll get this pattern quite often. I like doing the yellow tower just because it gets rid of a color, it's a 6 combo, it has a high likelihood for a chain. It's really easy to pull off. This is a very common pattern, and it's kind of tricky movement-wise, so it's kind of like watch me do it a couple of times. I'm going after that red diagonal I just did. It gets rid of a color, it's a 6 combo, and it leaves you quick setup for another 6 combo. I could probably do without that chain, but it's fine. So you're just going to clean up as normal. I'm going to show it one more time. You're going to kind of pick up the monsters and set it up like that. If you raise the red monster when you have another colored monster on top of it, it's going to hit that bomb every time. A lot of runners are timid of doing that because they don't want to mess up their moves. Can't tell you how many times I've done something in Wario's Woods and I'm like, damn it, I didn't mean to do that. This is a very, very hard pattern to learn. It took me forever to like realize I could do that with the reds, and ever since I've done that, I haven't considered anything else. Alright, so on the left, I'm going to show you a pretty common pattern. I'm going to show you 2 ways to complete it. The first is going to be the yellow horizontal way. So I built kind of like a horizontal bridge with my yellows. If you are fast enough, I would set those pinks up so that they'll make a chain. Of course, I had a gem in front of mine, but it's whatever. And then just clear the pattern as usual. Oh, and try not to make mistakes like me. Yeah, that's one thing I didn't quite account for in making this tutorial video, is how many silly mistakes I would make that would actually make this video a lot longer. So the second method is going to be the red tower. This is only advised when you get a red bomb first. I wouldn't wait for the red bomb. You get the red bomb first or second, I would use this method. So basically what you saw me do there was do the same setup that I do for the yellow, except I start stacking the reds. And then I kind of had some poor movement choices and kind of poor bomb RNG. But I'll show off both of these methods one more time. So here's the yellow bridge. Kind of get my pink chain set up. And if done correctly, you'll really put the heat on Boo, which will cause, hopefully cause him to lose. Alright, I show you the red tower method again. You're going to start the same way, except instead of setting those yellows up, you're going to set those reds up. Oh, crap. That sometimes happens. This is kind of a risky strat until you've mastered the, I guess for me it's the X button, but whatever button, or the Y button, but whatever button you use to handle one monster. Until you've mastered that control, that pattern's kind of, or that setup's kind of difficult to pull off. Alright, so you just clean up like usual. Alright, that is that pattern. I would spend some time getting to know that one because it comes up a lot. Alright, on the right side, we have a very annoying pattern. I'm going to try to set up a 5-4 chain. Let's see if I can do it well. So I have my reds and my pinks stacked just like that, and I have sent a chain. Some reason this seed has given me lots of chains. That's normally not the case. So I'm going to show it one more time. It's really the only semi-consistent way I have found to do this pattern. Is I get my pink lined up, and I get my red lined up. Of course, in this case, it'd probably be wise if I didn't wait, because I know the chain's coming. Oh, there's a gem in my way. So just kind of clean up like usual. If you can get chains on this pattern, it's a good thing, because the game starts the players off with like these deep like columns, and as we know, chains fill up columns. So if you can fill up your opponent's columns with chain monsters, then you have a higher chance of killing them faster. Like I said, it's kind of an annoying pattern to do well. There's a similar pattern. I'm going to show you two ways. First, I'll show you the cyan column. Cyan bomb is pretty common bomb. Once you drop that column, you want to go after that green diagonal. There's a lot of, well, I'll put it this way. I don't feel super confident that my method is the fastest, but I wanted to show you what I did anyways. So I'll show you again, but I'll do it the green diagonal way. Whoops, kind of started off wrong. And I start off with the green diagonal because oftentimes when green falls, it'll switch back to cyan. And at that point, it's going to go back to green. So for me, again, I want to try to optimize all of my colors. So it's the most important thing to me to knock off or to knock out one color when I'm going after it the first time. Wow, I'm having a hard time with this pattern. If I lose a run to Mssr Boo, this is generally one of the patterns I lose it to. Okay, so I'll show it one more time. This is the cyan column. Let's try to build a 5 or 6 combo. And just another note about the co-combos thing. If you're not fast enough yet to go after the 6 combos, like if you're gonna like potentially lose your entire combo by going after a 6 combo, don't go after it. It's not worth it. I mean, it is worth it if you're fast enough, but if you're not fast enough, don't worry about it. So I'll show you one more time the green diagonal when it's done correctly. Oh, and I got a blue gem. That's another thing too. I can't necessarily account for. You have to just know when you have a good opportunity with like your gems. If you can make a 5 combo with another gem, you gotta use it. It's really OP. You can do a gem clear and a 5 combo or better. Alright. Next I'm going to show you kind of an awkward pattern. My goal is to use the yellows. And some of your RNG seeds, you're not going to get the yellow like I did. But if you can get rid of that yellow diagonal, you generally are set up to make good combos afterwards. And your gem's generally good. I didn't make full use of my gem though. I have that pink bomb left. But just clear the stage as usual after you try to get that yellow diagonal started. Whatever is the most comfortable for you. Now, when I was saying earlier about how this game can be quite troublesome when it drops bombs, it can sometimes drop duplicates. This pattern is notorious for dropping double yellow. And when it drops double yellow, you have a chance to get a 6 combo instead of a 5 combo, which, as I said before, is a good thing, but it's kind of awkward to build. So there's that pattern. You just have to kind of play around with it. I sometimes restart runs if I start with that pattern, because that's how bad it is. This is a pretty common pattern. In this seed, I start off with a white bomb, which won't always be the case. So you're going to start off with the, well, you'll start off with whatever color bomb your seed is, but you'll encounter a white bomb first or a blue bomb first. Whichever color you encounter first, you want to blow up the corresponding stack by just building it. If there are some questions about how else to do this pattern, I would certainly find more examples of how to do it. This is a pretty versatile pattern. Now that I'm thinking about it, or now that I'm talking about it after doing the recording, I'd really like to show off how fast this pattern really can be. Unfortunately, you don't see that here, but that's one way to do it, is that white column. I'll show it off one more time. Sometimes you'll get a double drop, especially with the blue. Oh, I see. Here, I'm going to wait for the blue bomb first. Just to kind of show you that sometimes that's a thing. I would always wait for either the pink or the blue bomb there. Never just kind of start busting things up, because you may be waiting for a while. And it may just be faster to wait for the white or blue bomb. So yeah, there's that pattern. Pretty common pattern. I'm going to show you an awkward red pattern. You kind of see we have the beginnings of a red diagonal. It's the quickest to get to in terms of 5 combos. You just kind of want to dig in there and get it, and then finish the pattern as usual afterwards. If you have a decent bomb seed, you should be able to do just like I did. I'll show that off one more time. I got lucky in this seed and I got the red bomb early. Sometimes you'll get the red bomb first, but it's awkward because you have like an extra red monster just kind of hanging around, which definitely slows down progress because you're still going to have the red bomb in rotation. And just like see how now I'm trying to get rid of all of that at the same time. And this is a nice breakfast clear. Alright, now I want to show you probably my least favorite pattern. One of two least favorite patterns that you will get all the time. So you'll get any kind of variation of start bombs, but you basically want to go after the green diagonal just like I did and just hope for the best. I can't tell you how many runs I've reset because of this pattern. It's poorly designed. There's hardly, like, the only fast 5 combo is that green, and there are hardly any good prospects that follow up from it. So once you get the green diagonal, just hope you get something good. Sometimes if you're lucky, you can get a 5 combo to follow up, which I can show in a later video. Oh, trying to clear gems with my bomb. Oops, trying to do some swag breakfast struts. And yep, just clear the pattern as usual. Alright, the last one I'm going to show, there are 2 ways that I'll go about it depending on what my bomb seed is. It's a really awkward pattern. I have seen many runners such as Mssr Boo rage over this pattern. So the first thing I did was I set up that yellow breakfast. Again, my priority is always to either do 5 combos or clear colors or do both. So as you saw there, I cleared all of my yellows with 1 breakfast. Ideally, I would want to use like a 5 combo to clear all of 1 color, but since that wasn't available to me, I make do. I'll show you again, but with a pink tower strat. So my pink bomb falls, I clear out a space below and start stacking pink bombs. I had an opportunity to get a 5 combo, so I'm going to reset and show you again. You can set it up any number of ways, whatever's comfortable, but you want to go after that 6 combo. Doesn't knock out all your colors, but it does give you a chance to knock out a color, assuming that you get a good gem color. There we go. And should be dead. Alright. There is the end of your 3rd fight with Mssr Boo. On the left, this is kind of the victory screen. You have made it through all 16 patterns of Mssr Boo, and now you're ready to fight Aqualea, which is many a speedrunner's bane. So thank you for joining me in this tutorial, and I look to see you in the next one.